Clerk, do you have the Honorable CS? Are we ready? Yes, sir. Order, Honorable Senators. The CS in charge of cooperatives is in the Senate, is in the House. Kindly take your seats so that we proceed. Now, Honorable Senators, there are two questions that are directed to the Honorable CS. Each question is allocated 20 minutes. So we will terminate at exactly 10:55. And thereafter, we will usher in the CS in charge of health. Now, the first question directed to the CS is question number 065 by the Honorable Joyce Korir. Honorable Senator, you may proceed to ask your question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to welcome the CS to this sitting. And Honorable Speaker, I will go direct to ask my question, which is one, or A. Could the Cabinet Secretary outline the existing or new initiatives aimed at supporting women entrepreneurs to start and grow businesses? B. What steps has the ministry taken to raise awareness among marginalized and unprivileged women, particularly those in remote areas, and availability of funding support for women entrepreneurs? C, Honorable Speaker, is what has been the impact of the Hustler Fund on women entrepreneurs, and how can it be enhanced to further promote women-led enterprises? Finally, Honorable Speaker, what economic barriers do women face in accessing financial resources, and what strategies has the ministry adopt to address and remove these barriers? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may now proceed to respond.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I wish to respond to question number 065 by the nominated Senator Joyce Korir as follows. For A, Honorable Speaker, the ministry through the state agencies has implemented multiple existing and new initiatives that are inclusive to women, youth, and persons living with disabilities, marginalized and minority groups to start or expand their businesses. The first one, Mr. Speaker, the Financial Inclusion Fund, popularly known as the Hustler Fund, offers accessible and affordable credit to all Kenyans, including women entrepreneurs, through personal loans, group loans, and bridging loans products. To date, the fund has served over 25 million Kenyans across the country through the digital lending platform using both feature Mulikamwisi and smartphone, to date dispersing about 70 billion, with women accounting for 48% of the total beneficiaries. The Hustler Fund credit model is inclusive, requiring no collateral or credit history, thereby enabling women with limited financial background to access the funding. Number two, Uwezo Fund, another flagship program, was established under the Public Finance Management Act 2012 to provide interest-free loans to business training, mentorship, and market linkages to women, youth, and persons living with disabilities. At the constituency level, the fund has so far dispersed over 5.3 billion to 53,596 women groups across all the 290 constituencies. In addition, the Weso Fund has rolled out Wakesha Kasi Maju product, which we were working closely with the Ministry of Labor to support the labor mobility, where we are giving loans up to 200,000 Kenya shillings to successful applicants of the labor mobility program to support their air tickets, visa, and other attendance costs at zero interest rate with a one-off management fee of 8%. Number 3, the Kenya Industrial Estates has also provided over 464 million to affordable credit to 1,303 women entrepreneurs between the financial year 2019 to 2020 and 2024 to 2025 period. In addition, the Kenya Industrial Estates supports entrepreneurs' capacity building, industrial incubation, where 73 women-owned enterprises are currently on incubation in its facilities. KIE is also training hundreds of thousands of women in leadership, financial literacy through partnerships such as with the Stanbic Kenya Foundation and University of Nairobi Women Economic Empowerment Hub. Number 4, the Micro and Small Enterprises Authority, MSEA, has undertaken a wide range of intervention. This includes construction and equipping of the constituency industrial development centers, CIDCs, that currently accommodate 2,994 women entrepreneurs. It has facilitated over 4,540 women-led businesses to access markets through trade fairs and exhibitions, and disputed model equipment over 805 women entrepreneurs. In addition, tens of thousands of young women have been supported through the Kenya Youth Employment Opportunities Project. Number 5, in addition to that, the new National Youth Opportunity Towards Advancement, NYOTA, and the Kenya Jobs Economic Transformation Gadget project being rolled out this financial year targets both youth, who majority are young women, for economic empowerment through grants, training, and access to commercial infrastructure and market linkages, thereby strengthening women participation in high potential value chains. For number B, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that women in the marginalized and remote areas are aware of available funding opportunities, the ministry is spearheading outreach and awareness initiatives through a multi-sectoral approach involving other ministries, departments and agencies, development partners, and private sector players. Honorable Speaker, the ministry has put in place a robust MSME ecosystem to ensure development, growth, and scalability of MSMEs. Whereas there are many existing interventions from government and private actors, their effectiveness has tended to be undermined by the silo manner of operations. The ministry has embraced the multi-sectoral approach to coordinate the sector and create more synergies and opportunities for leveraging the focus on MSME development. As a result, the ministry has established a public-private sector MSME dialogue known as MSME Connect. This initiative was launched on 14th March 2025 this year in Nairobi And the plan is to go across the country and hold county-level forums that will converge local actors and discuss opportunities, address emerging challenges within the prevailing local context, and offer solutions. The next Kenya Public-Private Sector MSME Dialogue will be held in June this year in Embu County. Honorable Speaker, the ministry is embracing joint outreach programs through the sagas while working together with the county governments and national government administrative officers and respective officers to provide a comprehensive sensitization program that has outlines opportunities in the entire ecosystem, including financing, capacity building, and market linkage. For instance, in April and May this year, teams from MSEA and Hustler Fund, WESA Fund, and KIE had a sensitization meeting in Kakamega County and Marsabit County, and they collaborated with the Ngao and the Office of the Advisor to the President on Women Affairs, Youth Enterprise Development Fund, Women Enterprise Fund, among others, to conduct awareness on the economic empowerment opportunities within and out of the government, including how to access government procurement opportunities program. Honorable Speaker, it is only through such coordinated approach that the majority of Kenyans at the bottom of the economic pyramid will be reached and linked to opportunities that grows and scales their enterprises. For number C, Honorable Speaker, the impact of the Hustler Fund on the women entrepreneurs has been considerable, with women accounting for 48% of over the 25 million total borrowers. In addition to enabling over 70 billion circulation into the economy, the fund has provided a credit card to its beneficiaries to enable them access credit line through a dignified manner. As of today, with a credit limit of 500 shillings, beneficiaries can confidentially have a fallback plan to meet their needs and avoid shame and fear that comes with borrowing. Good borrowers have had an opportunity to grow their credit limits, and as today we have beneficiaries who are borrowing up to a maximum of 150,000 Kenya shillings on the new bridging loan product. The saving component has mobilized over 4 billion in both voluntary and mandatory, promoting a saving consciousness among Kenyans as a de-risking mechanism to their livelihood. The credit history of all beneficiaries has been crystallized into a 9-band Hustler Fund behavioral rating system, ranging from A1 to C3, and this form excellent to this A1 is excellent to very poor rating of C3, respectively. We are institutionalizing the credit score towards market utilization to accord the high scorers a soft collateral that will unlock for them access to enhancing financing. Honorable Speaker, with respect to women, everybody agrees that they are good borrowers, and even the banks will tell you as much. However, the good borrowing attributes to women has not found its way to the banks to accord them a preferential access to financing. Our women, regardless of their good demonstration of good behavior are still subjected to hard collateral such as land title deeds, pay slips, and properties which most have no reach. The Hustler Fund rating will therefore institutionalize collateralize these good borrowing attributes of women to inform their creditworthiness and eventually move to our credit market from fixation on hard collateral to soft behavior based to deepen financial inclusion at the bottom of the economic pyramid and enable majority of our people to be served. A comprehensive socioeconomic impact study is in the process to measure long-term effects. Plans to enhance the fund's support to women include introducing dynamic loan limits tied to individual repayment behavior and integrating savings and pension components to build long-term financial resilience among women borrowers. For Honorable Speaker, the women entrepreneurs in Kenya face several economic barriers in accessing financial resources, many of which stem from structural inequalities and systems challenges. Among the most prevalent barriers are lack of collateral due to limited asset ownership, limited access to formal financial history, low level of financial literacy, high costs associated with registering and formalizing business, cultural and societal norms in some regions further restrict women's participation in enterprises. Informality remains a major issue as many women operate outside the formal financial system, which limits their ability to access credit. Honorable Speaker, the response to these economic barriers, the Ministry has deployed a variety of strategies as follows. One, I have already mentioned about Hustler Fund that has eliminated traditional requirements like collateral and credit history, offering loans based on mobile money profile and repayment behavior. It also promotes savings and retirement planning through embedded product features. Wealth Fund supports women participation in local leadership and decision-making by ensuring their representation in fund committees and has advocated for simplified business registration process, such for single business permits. The fund also emphasizes capacity building to improve women's readiness for entrepreneurship and market participation. Kenya Industrial Estates has introduced group guarantee loans using social collateral, allowing women without assets to access credit through mutual trust within groups. KIE also provides affordable credit with flexible repayment terms and supports mentorship, coaching, and exposure visas to strengthen business acumen. MSEA provides a direct grants in incubation in constituent industrial development centers, value chain integration, and targeted training. The proposed establishment of the Women in Business Unit within MSEA is a major policy shift aimed at institutionalized support for women, addressing access to finance, mentorship, ICT, and sustainable business development, while advocating for gender response policies and regulatory reforms. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, the Ministry remains steadfast in its commitment to empowering women entrepreneurs and dismantling barriers to their full participation in Kenya's economy. Through the coordinated efforts of the state agencies, the Ministry has delivered impressive results and continues to scale efforts through grants, training, financial inclusion, market access, and infrastructure support. The Ministry is steadily building a more inclusive MSME sector where young and women are equipped, empowered, and resilient amid Kenya's evolving economic realities. Going forward, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry will strengthen the institutional framework for supporting women entrepreneurs and align these efforts with the national development priorities under the Vision 2030 and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Thank you.
Now, we'll take question number 078 before we come to supplementary questions. Now, Honorable CS, you've already circulated your written response. Try to paraphrase so that we save on time. Senator Karen Nyamu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and welcome to the Senate, Honorable CS. I have 3 questions. What initiatives is a ministry undertaking to foster the growth and resilience of youth and women-led MSMEs amidst the current economic climate, and how are these programs aimed at improving the representation and benefits in the sector? Could the Cabinet Secretary indicate?
Honorable CS, you can take your seat before. When you're responding, then you can.
Okay.
Stand.
Could the Cabinet Secretary indicate when the Deposit Guarantee Fund and the integrated digital lending platforms for cooperatives will become operational? And could you please outline the measures in place to protect the members and to harmonize cooperative policies across counties to ensure consistent policy framework and promote intergovernmental cooperation? What measures are being implemented to ensure timely remittance of members' contributions to savings in SACCOs, especially in light of persistent financial mismanagement that, according to the government, has resulted in Kenya shillings 600 million in unpaid SACCO deductions from county governments and universities? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may now proceed to respond.
Mr. Speaker, I think the first question that the member is asking, I've really responded to it. If she looked at my detailed response, that was fairly comprehensively covered. The issue of remittances to the SACCOs and other cooperatives, especially from the employers, this has been a challenge. And this has mainly affected county governments and universities. Those are the 2 major culprits within the government ecosystem that has frequently defaulted on remittances of members' deductions. As a ministry, we have very limited powers. The only powers that we have is for the Commissioner of Cooperatives. Commissioner of Cooperatives to write to them, to plead with them, to make a contribution. And secondly, he has also the powers to conduct the banks of those who are defaulting to actually make sure that they remit their deductions. But sometimes the banks' hands are also tied, because if there are no remittances, then the banks have no money in their accounts to make the remittances. However, we have now the cooperative bill before the Senate, and we have outlined some of the ways that we need to institute so that members' remittances actually reach the SACCOs as required, where we involve even the control of budgets in case of remittances for the county government, and also even involve the treasury on the same.
Now, Senator Karen, you'll have an opportunity to ask 2 questions. And then also Senator Joyce Korir, you'll have you have an opportunity to ask 2 supplementary questions before I give your colleagues the floor. We start with Senator Joyce Korir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I don't have any supplementary question, but just to thank the Honorable CS for a very elaborate answer that he has given. And I just want to say that, Honorable Speaker, a number of issues that has raised, I think, answers the questions that was lingering in my mind. Otherwise, I want to say thank you and most welcome.
Senator Karen.
Mr. Honorable CS, you have indicated that 25 million Kenyans, translating to 48% of Kenyans who have borrowed from the Hustler Fund, are women. I would want a detailed, more detailed information on those loans, because we know on the onset, Kenyans used to borrow money from the Hustler Fund just to test if it works. And a lot of these loans were 500 shillings, maybe amounts that do not translate to the kind of empowerment that we're looking for the women. If we can have the details and the nature of these loans, is it group loans, is it individual loans, what are the amounts that women are accessing through the Hustler Funds? And on the Kenya industrial estates, you have elaborated very well what you're doing to empower women, and a lot of detail on the women. I've had nothing. You have not given any breakdown, similar breakdown that you have given on women. I have not seen it on the youth. And you know, right now, one of the biggest problems we have in this country is a youth unemployment. And these are some of the channels where youth can be useful in the economic activities. So can the CS give a similar breakdown on the efforts made towards the youth in this by KIE? Thank you.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the first one, where I said that the majority of borrowers are women, 48%, as you are aware, the Hustler Funds is a digital platform-operated systems, and these are the figures we get on daily basis. Mr. Speaker, if I was to bring a detailed list of the 48%, maybe you will not be able to carry it, because this is a digital system. However, I'm very much willing if the member can conduct me so that I take her through how we get these figures. And we have Safaricom as a service provider that gives us this information on daily basis. So if it means printing it to prove that...
Honorable CS, is this information contained in the ministry's website?
Yeah, it is.
Then
it is
contained.
It is contained in the website. It is even on my phone now. It's information that I can pass it to her, because this is the information we get on daily basis. So I can avail that, and I can even put you to be part of the WhatsApp so that you can get it on daily, or you can get it on daily basis. Secondly, on the issue of the youth, that is, I think, is another question. The question asked by Honorable Korir was actually on women. So if she needs details about the youth, I just mentioned the youth, by the way, to show that we are dealing with all vulnerable groups. But if she needs a detailed response on the youth, that is now another question which I can deal with later, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable John Yutu. Honorable Onyonka. Honorable Oroba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a supplementary question on the issue of availability of funds to youth and women. And in your response, Waziri, you have said that in addition, the Uwezo Fund has rolled out a Wezesha Kazi Maju product to support the labor mobility, where you're giving loans of up to 200,000 with 0 interest rate and 8% management fee. My question would be, how many people have successfully gotten these 200,000 loans? And how many of those who have been given the 200,000 are actually abroad working as we speak?
Senator Moses Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to welcome the expert to the Senate. He has talked about two initiatives. He has talked about the National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement, NYOTA, and the Kenya Jobs Economic Transformation Project, KJET. Mr. Speaker, the CS indicates that they are being rolled out this financial year. Whereas Kenyans are aware of the Hustler Fund, the pros and cons, and the Uwezo Fund, KJET and NYOTA are not very well known amongst Kenyans. Can the CS confirm whether it is possible to use these honorable senators as promoters and mobilizers for KJET and NYOTA? Because they aim at empowering and providing grants to young people at the grassroots. Now, can the CS also confirm that they will not also be using the networks of CDF and networks of county governments, which already have their funds? These senators are available, they are ready, they have networks across all polling stations in their jurisdictions. The CS could consider using the members of this House to promote and to roll out and to mobilize these two grants. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Sifuna. And Honorable Senators, you shall refer the CS as the Honorable CS and not by any other name.
I don't know why that directive is being given immediately. I take the mic, but I'll take it in stride. Honorable Speaker, you know, in his other life, the Cabinet Secretary and I used to agree on how this Hustler Fund needs to be treated. As of September of 2024, data from that ministry indicates that the default rate was up to 58%. That is about 14 out of the 24 million people who are borrowing on that platform are classified as defaulters. I want the Honorable CS, because in his other life he was very clear that we need to hold the President to his promise that this Hustler Fund was supposed to be a grant and not a loan, and that therefore the people who borrowed this money need not pay that money back. That was the position we held together with the CS. I want him to confirm, Honorable Speaker, what plans are there to make sure that the people who are listed as defaulters of this particular Hustler Fund are made to pay back this money, now that he has taken a diametrically opposite position that this money needs to be paid back. Honorable Speaker, I thank you.
Senator Fernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I want to welcome the Cabinet Secretary to the Senate and be proud that if this is the kind of leaders from Mulembe Nation, led by Oparanya and Kalwale, then the Mulembe Nation is in safe hands. Mr. Speaker, my only... Mr. Speaker, I really want to ask from my brother CS, in this Hustler Fund package, what should be the aspect in ensuring that upcoming cooperative societies like Kipsiele Cooperative Societies, Chapter 8 Women Star, Cap South Coffee Cooperative, Cap Kulumben Cooperative Society, Lesos Farmers Cooperative Society, and Kabunyeria Farmers Cooperative Society, among others in Nandi County, is there a specific package that the Hustler Fund can give to these cooperative societies so that, Mr. Speaker, it can jumpstart and ensure that we don't only capture societies and youth groups and women groups in Nairobi, but also the people from the, what we call under the President's agenda of bottom-up economic model, Mr. Speaker. And I want to ask the CS not to fear Sifuna. Sifuna was told off by Raila over the weekend, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senator Fernandi. Honorable Senator Fernandi, you are out of order. Okay? And I'll give you your first question for the day. Senator for Kericho, the majority leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a question with regards to the financial inclusion product, which the Cabinet Secretary responded to in this first part of the question, otherwise known as the Hustler Fund. And for the record, to the best of my knowledge, the President never promised a grant. The people, please, the people, Speaker.
Senator Fernandi. Senator Fernandi. Senator Fernandi, you're out of order. And you proceed in that manner, I will have to ask you to leave the House. Proceed, the majority leader.
Thank you. The people who promised 6,000 one-off as a grant, Mr. Speaker, are known. Hustler Fund, Mr. Speaker, and the minister is here, will confirm to us from the get-go, everybody who borrowed knew that the scheme is that you borrow, pay, you build a credit history, and are able to grow your limit. The question that I have for the Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Speaker, is if we can have a record, you can provide it now or later, of what is the approximate number of Kenyans that borrow on a daily basis currently, Mr. Speaker, and that are active on this platform, so that we are able to know how they are able to achieve this figure of 70 billion. Mr. Speaker, that's not a small amount. In fact, there are only 2 or 3 banks in this country that can lend out such a similar amount out there. Therefore, it will be important for this House to know how many ordinary citizens borrow and pay on a daily basis from the Cabinet Secretary. I thank you for this chance.
Senator Beatrice Akinyi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I welcome the CS and our senior brother once more. My question is, Honorable Speaker, to the CS, what percentage of the funds lent, especially of the Hustler Fund, has become bad debt? And Honorable CS, now that we are in broad-based, is it possible that you can pay the 6,000 shillings that was promised to Kenyans as in our manifesto? Thank you.
Senator Miraj. Senator Miraj. Order, honorable senators. Senator Miraj, proceed.
Asante mstahiki Spika, na mimi nimkaribishe waziri na nimpongeze kwa kufika kwa wakati. Swali langu kwake ni kwamba kuna jinamizi jipya limechipuka katika taifa letu la Kenya, jinamizi la watoto wetu kuweza kucheza kamari. Na kuna ushahidi ya kwamba pesa nyingi zinazochukuliwa katika mifuko hii ya hazina za fedha inaenda kutumika katika hali ambazo sizo za malengo ya hazina hizi za fedha. Je, kuna mikakati gani katika wizara yetu kuhakikisha kwamba tunafuatilia utekelezaji wa ruwaza wa hazina hizi za pesa? Nikimaanisha kuna mikakati gani ya kuhakikisha kwamba pesa zinazochukuliwa zinafanywa biashara na zinastawisha vipi uchumi wa serikali kama ilivyokuwa malengo ya rais wetu wakati alipokuwa anataka kuweka hazina hii ya fedha, ili tuone kwamba kuna sera ya kuona kwamba anayechukua hizi fedha anaenda kuyafanyia yale malengo ambayo anaombea na haendi kutumia kwa mihadarati na hata kujiingiza katika jinamizi la kamare. Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Senator Eddie Okech.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity. My question is also on the same Hustler Fund, and because the CS in charge now is an expert from ODM, has the ministry done a legal impact assessment of the Hustler Fund, Mr. Speaker? Because it seems to me that we don't know where this ASLA fund is being invested, and we don't know who are borrowing this ASLA fund. Is there even intention by the ministry to publish a proper impact assessment of areas that this money has gone, which people have borrowed, and to what extent have they transformed their business, Mr. Speaker? Because, Mr. Speaker, where I come from, one of the people I hoped would have borrowed from this FASLA fund, Mr. Speaker, is the border industry, which we are given to be about 1.5 million people in our borders today, Mr. Speaker. But the border industry is still going to very expensive solutions in terms of people who are in the marketplace, giving them, Mr. Speaker, these loans at almost 60%, Mr. Speaker. If you look at what the border are getting, even in terms of just the deposit that they're given to give to these funds, like what to credit, Mogo, Progressive, they have to give sometimes up to 60,000, Mr. Speaker. And then within 3 years, they try to pay these funds. The border is depleted, is depreciated, but then they don't have even the border itself, Mr. Speaker. So who are these people borrowing from ASLA fund? Who are these ASLAs? Can the minister table to us at the right time an impact assessment that is legally done as an expert that he is from ODM to show the country what has happened in that ASLA fund?
Senator Mgatana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In your response, Waziri, when you are asked about how you have gone out of your way to explain the opportunities that exist for women by the Honorable Joyce Korir, especially in remote and underprivileged areas, you said that you have taken a multi-sectoral approach and you have gone to other places, and you gave the example of Marsabit and Kakamega. Now, in this Senate, we have 47 counties, Mr. Speaker. Now, 2 out of 47 is 4.25%. The question I wanted to ask you as a follow-up is, when are you coming to Tana River? When are you going to the rest of the other counties? Which program, when are you rolling out this program so that we can host you in our various counties to explain these opportunities to the other people? You did not tell us that program. It just ended that you've given Marsabit and Kakamega. We want to hear when you will be coming to the rest of the counties. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may now proceed to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, before I answer the supplementary questions, I think members are very much interested in the Hustler Fund. And I want to commit myself, Mr. Speaker, that you can set aside time that I can come and meet the members out of the normal session so that we are able to explain in detail how Hustler Fund is working and how it can help the members, also the members, your members from your constituencies who helped you to come to this house. So if you will give me that opportunity, I will avail myself, Mr. Speaker, to do that. But on the issue of labor mobility, we are working with the Ministry of Labor, and I saw the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Labor was here. We are working, and our role is actually to provide finances. So the entire selection, the entire identification of the opportunities that are there overseas is the responsibility of the Ministry of Labor. So as soon as they identify those particular people, they just forward a list with the documents, necessary documents, to prove that these people actually have got a job overseas and they have the necessary documentation to travel and they have a letters of appointment, then we facilitate them. So far, we have facilitated 200.
Order, honorable senators. May we hear the honorable CS in total silence.
Yeah, so far we have facilitated 268.
Senator Beatrice Akinyi.
268 Kenyans.
Senator Beatrice Akinyi, I thought you're the one who asked these questions. Proceed, honorable CS.
Yeah, so far we have facilitated 268, but this, to know where they have gone, if they have not gone, that is the responsibility of the Ministry of Labor. My role is just to get a list with the necessary documents from the Ministry of Labor, and then we facilitate the financing. And my responsibility ends there. To know who went, who never went, where they are going, that information can be availed from the Ministry of Labor. On the issue of Nyota and KJet, honorable members, this is a very important initiative that you as members of parliament, you should get aware of. Because this is a joint initiative with the Kenya government, with the World Bank. And it involves about 33 billion Kenya shillings. Already sensitization program is going on. Unfortunately, the sensitization program is going on with the members of the National Assembly because the selection of the beneficiaries is based on wards. So they thought that members of parliament would be the best ones with the member of the county assemblies, so that these people are sensitized to apply, and you have to apply on your phone. It's a digital application process. So unfortunately, the members of National Assembly have been sensitized, they are aware of it, and unfortunately the Senate have not been properly included. And I want also to commit myself that you are members of parliament, so you must be aware of what is happening. And I also commit myself that given opportunity, because this is a very important initiative, I'm ready to come and actually sensitize you or take you through the program. On the issues raised by my Secretary General, Mr. Sifuna, I don't remember, I know we were in the same boat that time. Yeah, but I never heard of this money being a grant. That was the truth. I only was in the same boat when we were saying that this money should not be paid. But now I'm in a different boat. I'm saying that Kenyans who have borrowed this money should pay. Because I feel that this money is a good initiative that will help many Kenyans. Unfortunately, when such initiatives come up after an election, members of the public think that they are being rewarded. And that's why we had so many defaulters when the fund started. But let me assure members of parliament who are here that we are working on a system where we will ensure that this amount is recovered so that more Kenyans benefit from this money. But please note that out of the 20 million Kenyans that started borrowing from this fund, 2 million of them have proved to be good borrowers. And these good borrowers, we have introduced a bridging loan. These are the people who have been given a good limit, a better limit for them to borrow up to 150,000. So out of the 20 million, 2 million have been promoted to what we call a bridging loan, so they can be able to access this fund at 150,000. And let me tell you that this fund is working very well. It is helping many Kenyans despite the initial problems that we had. On the issue of Hustler Fund helping cooperative, Hustler Fund is a different product. It's a digital, we use a digital platform to access, use your phone. You do not interact with any individual. So it will be difficult to take that particular fund again, divert it to cooperatives. However, in the Cooperative Bill 2024 that is before the Senate, there is a provision of creating a cooperative development fund. And it is through that fund that now, based on how you will pass it here, that is the fund that we will use to support cooperative specifically. And it will be a levy collected from cooperatives, also government allocation to that fund, so that now we can scale up the operations of most cooperatives, especially those in the critical value chain. The issue of providing records, I've clearly said here, providing records of Hustler Fund. I've clearly said here, Hustler Fund is a digital platform facility. If you want a printout, I can do it. But if you go to our website, that Hustler Fund is a critical fund that I think it helps a lot of Kenyans that I will come here and explain to members so that they know how this fund is working. So I know there are bad debts. I've admitted myself that there are bad debts, and we're working to see how that can be recovered. But one member said that I paid the 6,000. 6,000 was a promise by Asmio, and as you know, Asmio lost the election, so maybe you organize yourself so that if Asmio comes into power, if they have a chance of coming into power, then they can be able to pay for the 6,000. To pay for the 6,000 shillings. But we are in the Kenya Kwanza government. They have their own priorities, and since we are now under the broad-based, we are now working towards those agenda of theirs. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of us knowing how these funds are used, because one member of Parliament here mentioned the issue of Kamari. With Hustler Fund, it will be difficult for us as a